of the reigning MVP as Buffalo falls to 4-2. Joe Musso, pleased to be alongside my guys, Bryant McFadden, Emery Hunt, offering thoughts here on game 1 of 2 on Monday night. And I can't help but wax poetic about Bijan Robinson. The man is special. He's the first running back with 230 or more all-purpose yards on Monday Night Football since Bo Jackson. He did everything except run up the tunnel, Emery. As our resident running back, what impresses you most about the balance, the skill, the ability right now of Bijan Robinson?
His eyes and his feet are always in unison. He can see it and react to it instantly, and that right there in and of itself is a superior skill, because a lot of times you see it and then your mind processes, okay, I got to make this move, but he sees it at the same time his feet's reacting, almost like his feet are ahead of his eyes, but they all work together at the same time. Every run was like an ice skater just weaving down the slopes, and it's just fascinating to see how he's able to do this consistently, pressing the hole on the outside zone, cutting it back across the grain. You see right here just weaving through the traffic, in and out of traffic like a New York cab, and gets down the sideline, showing the balance, breaking the tackle. So everything he did from a running back perspective was teach tape, clinic tape, and he is an outstanding runner.
I have a new nickname for Bijan.
Give it to
Bijan Mongoose Robinson.
Mongoose.
Low center of gravity. When he makes his cut that you point out, he doesn't lose any speed, the suddenness, the patience. I mean, he just navigates through traffic with such ease, man. It's amazing to watch, and he does so with no effort. It just happens organically, naturally for him, and he's one of the best running backs in the NFL right now. And it's not just about what he does as a runner, but what about his influence in the passing game? Anytime he touches the football, you have to hold your breath because you don't know.
I like the Mongoose.
Yes, Bijan Mongoose Robinson. Shots out to Atlanta. If y'all want to take that and run with it, I give you guys the okay to do so, Falcons organization or the entire city of hot Atlanta. Shots out to JJ.
He fears no animal in the animal kingdom because he might be king of it right now. That is running the football. But as you said, a +1 in the receiving game, 68 yards through the air as well in this one, 238 all-purpose yards, 4th most in Falcons franchise history. There were 3 such instances of Julio Jones going to bigger numbers than that. But outstanding stuff here for Bijan, and really helped Atlanta dictate the terms early in this game, Mac. They made this their ball game. They played from their pace. How important was that in ultimately taking down the Buffalo Bills?
Very, very important when you're playing against a playoff caliber team with a star quarterback in the Buffalo Bills, getting out to a fast start. That's what they did. Remember, at one point in time, it was 21-7 in the second quarter. Now, Coach Raheem, I would love to see your team continue to keep your foot on the gas in the second half because you became a bit stagnant. But guess what? Even when there were some issues with the offense, moving the football down the field, your defense stood up. They're flying around playing some inspired football, and it starts with the first 2 levels, the guys that put their hand in the dirt, and the second level guys in the linebackers. Their ability to coexist in this defense, and they made things difficult for Josh Allen. Josh Allen looked like a pedestrian quarterback tonight on a primetime stage. We're not used to seeing Josh Allen be disturbed like he was disturbed tonight, but it's all about what we saw from Atlanta defensively. Offense got up to a fast start. The Falcons defense, they were able to bring that thing home. That 4th leg was outstanding, and kudos to the Falcons because this was a much-needed win when you look at what's circulating around in the division. Tampa are taking care of their business. Quietly, the Carolina Panthers are doing what they're supposed to do. If you're Atlanta, you need to stay within pack of the rest of the quality teams in your division.
We said same as it did a week ago for Drake May and the Patriots, a win over the Bills. This is one of the most respected teams in the AFC. That's going to breed all sorts of confidence for Penix and the Falcons. What does this do for them moving forward?
It gives them the confidence that they can beat anybody. They look at the AFC's best, quote unquote, and did a great job against them up front. In the trenches, they ran through the Buffalo Bills. You talk about a team that gave up 6.9 yards of play on defense. And when you look at the Falcons, 9 rushing first downs. That's telling you what they're doing up front. We talked about Bijan Robinson and what he did running the football, but you look at what they did in the trenches, even without Jake Matthews, who went out with an injury, in the second quarter, I believe. And so the offensive line still did what it had to do to win this ball game. So it was 1 up front, even with Ed Oliver back, and Penix picked up right where he left off. This is someone that came in, threw for over 250 yards, was confident throwing the football down the field, decisive, wasn't really indecisive in his decision-making. The accuracy was there. Drake London balled out. You saw him have a big day. So all of their stars stepped up, rose to the occasion, and knocked it out of the park. And on defense, when you got dudes on that defense from Atlanta, Houston, South Florida, and Memphis, no surprise that defense went out there and balled out against Buffalo. So kudos to those guys. This was a total team effort and team win.
I'm glad you placed this in the context of Oliver's return to action, because we were expecting the Bills defense, Mac, to take a step forward. They found themselves in maybe the middle 20 of this game, but early on it was leaving plenty to be desired. What's the chief issue right now with the Buffalo Bills defense?
The interior of the defensive line. Even with them adding more bulk to the defensive line, I always felt like they were a bit undersized. You know, when Ed Oliver, who is a good player, he's your best defensive lineman, he's south of 285, but 290 for sure, that always could be an issue. And the thing about this running style from Atlanta, Emery, it's not necessarily all about coming north and south. It's attacking the perimeters, but inside the tackles. That's the thing. That zone that stretch zone they run, they're not trying to get outside the tackle. It's about being inside the tackle with the cutback possibility, and they had no answer. The flow of the offensive line just washed down the Bills defensively, and it just was open sesame for Bijan Robinson.
And what happened when Terrell Bernard went out, that's their thumper in the run game. When he went out with injury, that killed their ability to stop the run. So we saw Algier find success. We saw Bijan find success. All because number 8 wasn't out there doing his thing, what he has done all throughout the course of the season. He's been their guy to make a key play on defense and been a thumper in the run game. Without him in the lineup, it was chaos. They couldn't really get set. They couldn't really get aligned. And those edges you talked about, couldn't get off blocks, couldn't set a physical edge. Atlanta had their way in the trenches with the run game, which set up everything else throwing the football.
After the dust settles here in Week 6, entering Week 7, we have a New England Patriots team now leading that division with 2 consecutive losses for the Buffalo Bills. We must explore a bit, taking a look at it. I'm sure our friends at FanDuel will still position the Bills as favorites to win that division, but things are tightening, and there's a growing belief in New England. They obviously have that first head-to-head. There's a second consecutive loss here for Josh Allen in Buffalo. We asked the question prior to the season is there enough there on the offensive side of the ball, with it predicated by Josh Allen and James Cook? We know the talent exists there. They are at a deficit on the outside, respect to Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir, but when a play needs to be made, Mac, I'm not sure in the pass game there's an obvious place to go with the ball right now.
And that was an issue tonight. Now, if you look at the flow of the game, how it started, Joshua Palmer was off to a really good start, and then he got injured, right? And we saw the offensive passing game become a bit stagnant. And I think when you look at Josh Allen, for some reason, guys, he never seemed to really get into a rhythm, because this is the offense in terms of their pass catchers. It's not about name. It's about living up to the billing, but also your quarterback helping you become a better player than what you're actually looked upon in terms of your professional career. The rhythm was never there.